Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Malifaux and Game 4 of April Faux Day tournament. A 4-round fixed faction tournament held in South London and hosted by the exquisite South London Legion. Things have been going really well for me so far, and with 2 wins and a draw, putting me on 7 tournament points I think, and a differential of 11, I somehow find myself playing on table 2. Now, not 100% sure, but for the sake of drama, I'm going to state this as fact. If I win this game, I'll take 2nd place overall and get best Reser. Okay, bring it on. For terrain, we've got the forests, huge ones actually. These are a bit odd. They are an impassable forest, so I think that makes them soft cover, height 4 or 5, blocking terrain. These things are height 2, important that, height 2 hard cover, I think. Soft cover these little posts, impassable blocking, hard cover. I don't know what we define that as, but it looks to me like it would be soft cover, height 1 for the platform, height 2 for the little pedestal-y bit. I think these are height 1, soft cover, climbable. Impassable stuff, height 1, soft cover, climbable, and that's about it. I can't actually remember who deployed first, I think it might have been me. And I've got Chiaki the Niece, the Carrion Emissary, with Conflux of Forbidden Knowledge. Rotten Bell, Sebastian, with Those Are Not Ours. Rafkin, with My Little Helper. Nurse, Doomwawa, and McMorning, with Moonlighting Plastic Surgery and Decaying Aura. So my choice of crew here I don't think was optimal. All I've actually got in my case are Flesh Constructs, Dogs, and Rotten Bells. I haven't played Reckoning in over a year easily, and have got 0 plan, so I've just taken my default list. In hindsight, I really should have taken a 2nd Bell instead of Chiaki. I always like to keep her around for that tag team nurse heal on morning once he gets stuck in, but given the schemes I've decided on, yeah, a Bell would have been better, I feel. Facing me from across the jolly Christmas market, we have the Outcasts. And my opponent has brought Big Jake, the Hodgepodge Effigy. Strong Arm Suit, Von Schill. With Oathkeeper and The Shirt Comes Off. Terrifying. The Steam Trunk, a Librarian, and Anna Lovelace. Oh, and not to forget the Frycore Trapper. So yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Never faced Von Schill before. He's never really interested me to do more than skim over his cards. He seems to be quite a generalist. But to be honest, I'm not super worried. He's got a lot of good shooting. He's got this Steam Trunk thing which I think can remove poison, which after my experiences in Game 2, I've learnt that that is a pain. I'm aware the Strong Arm Suit can pack quite a punch. I know Anna's a great model, and the Librarian as well. On the face of it, I reckon I can take it. But I'm cautious though, as I reckon it's pretty unlikely that my opponent Henners, who's a great guy by the way, we really had a blast during this game, I reckon it's pretty unlikely that he stumbled his way this far by accident. I know I have, but 2 of us would be a bit of a coincidence. So yeah, super interested to see how this one's going to go. In terms of my plan, it's Reckoning, so I've got to kill 2 models a turn. Frame for Murder, total no-brainer in this scenario, and it's going on Rafkin again, because I think, shoving her up really far forward, My Little Helper turn 2, again, just ram her down the throat, do as much damage as possible, force him to kill her, job's a good one. While we're at all this killing, dig the graves I really like, and so I'm going to try to just plaster this central area with markers, hope, in the end what I was thinking was, we're probably going to end up in this area anyway. So drop all the markers, pull models in with the bell, try to force the rest of his crew to come in to support, and just basically shank him in the market, which will hopefully blunt his range game somewhat. Let's see how we do! This is how things look at the end of turn 1, both moving up fairly conservatively. The res is really creeping forward under suppressing fire. I got the Carrion Emissary out and blocked up this route early on to try to prevent the sniper shooting me in my deployment zone. The nurse put 4 poison in the morning and moved forward, as she's going to have trouble keeping up I think otherwise. Strong Arm Suit and Big Jake have moved over to these trees. We've got a Hodgepodge Effigy just behind this market stand. Librarian, Anna and Steam Trunk just moving up a little bit. I sent Rafkin out wide, Von Schill came forwards and took a shot at her, doing some damage. Actually, like quite a lot of damage, I was pretty happy with that. The Bell moved out to try to lure, or be in position to lure anyway next turn, and the sniper took a shot, taking some wounds off. McMorning poison pushed over here, walked up, injectioned Rafkin forward to drop a scheme marker, walked up over here, dropped another scheme marker, and at the end of the turn he's poisoned pushed back, which I think was suboptimal. I like to throw him up tantalisingly far and then pull him back to see if I can draw my opponents out a bit, but really it's pretty clear he's not going to come to me, and would have been better just to push McMorning up and get more distance and close him down. We end the turn like that, and my opponent has, I should say, declared last stand. Really fun scheme to have in Reckoning, I think. This is one of the schemes I'm less familiar with, as I don't tend to take crews that will really benefit from taking it. So I know he's got to have enforcers and henchmen outside of his deployment zone. Unfortunately, they only have to be just out of the deployment zone. So he's going to make me work for this, isn't he? But I'm a little bit too excited to appreciate that he needs to have less models than me to achieve it. Which, if I'd been thinking clearly, I'm sure I could have used better to my advantage. We go into turn 2 and the Reses continue their cautious advance. Our shots ping off the woodwork around us. Stupidly, I've summoned a zombie from my shards at the end of last turn, and Peon kills count for Reckoning, and increasing my numbers is probably a bad thing given his scheme. But I do like to make life harder for myself, so I try to correct this mistake by getting the emissary up here, dropping a scheme marker, putting up the shards, blocking line of sight to the zombie. I made a positioning mistake here, as the emissary's head can be seen over the top of this height to piece of terrain. I should have got him more behind the shards to minimise the shots coming his way. I have popped my little helper on Rafkin. I wouldn't normally do this if there's not a viable charged target around, but the aim is to try to get her killed this turn, or at least next turn. So I figure I might as well get the card now and then maybe try to get her into a vulnerable position, waste his AP if I can. The Bell's trying to lure in Von Schill. I'm thinking that either I pull him in, he hasn't activated, I pull him in, he gets into the middle of my crew trying to kill stuff, and he's a dead man if he does that. Or more likely he takes a pot shot at stuff and then spends at least some AP getting back into a safer position. Doesn't work in the end. He is not charmed by my dead girl's wiles, and she takes another sniper round to the face for her troubles and is down on, I think, like 2 wounds remaining. I get Sebastian around here, or I summon a dog from the zombie and get Sebastian around here, which frees up a charge lane for my nurse to charge McMorning, and he's now on something like 10 poison. That should see him through the game. The Chihuahua might even have given him some more poison, I can't remember. But what I should really have done here was use Sebastian to destroy evidence on the zombie and get the Chihuahua to sack itself with smell weakness. It's pretty obvious I'm not going to be able to kill, well, I'm going to really struggle to kill any models this turn. And this would pretty handily deny him a point from last stand. I'm sure the strong arm suit would happily kill Big Jake, but I'm not sure if he'd be prepared to kill a second model off. But yeah, hindsight. So as the turn progresses, the carrion emissary takes a huge amount of firepower and shrugs it off pretty well. Took some damage, but it wasn't a lot. Hard cover from the market stand really helping out there. And then, to be honest, I'm getting a little bit tired of all this slinking around, and the red mist descends somewhat on McMorning's vision, and so I poison push up. I had intended to injection Rafkin to get her up over here. Now another marker dropped, get her into position. But yeah, the bloodlust is too strong, so I walk up, find I can charge this little effigy that's hiding behind this building. And the plan is to hit it, bring it down to its last wound and let poison kill it when it activates. Or if it's still standing, Rowan can move up and then 1 AP charge it and bring it down that way. Not an intelligent play, as if I can't kill 2 models a turn, there's really not that much use in doing it, especially against such an unthreatening model as the effigy. And it might have been better to, it definitely would have been better to push Rafkin up, but then you ran to transplant Big Jake if I double walked over, which would allow Rafkin to walk up, probably get a charge, and be in a nice vulnerable position next turn. As things transpire, I failed to kill the effigy. I think I only do 2 damage with the first strike and poison, and then my opponent cheats really high for the second attack, enabling the effigy to live. and not die as soon as it activates. So it does activate, loses its poison, down to its last wound, and yeah, I don't know if it does anything effectual. But it means that Rafkin now can't charge it, so I move her up, I think around to here, under the pretext of bodyguarding McMorning. And at the end of the turn, the only point scored is the Outcasts' last stand. Given the restrictions of Anna's dress, at the end of the turn I end up pushing out over here with McMorning. I can't get to within 1 inch of the strong-arm suit, which is really annoying, because I really want it dead. I get the initiative and go with McMorning because, yeah, he's in a pretty dangerous position, and I want to get some work done out of him. To kill the strong-arm suit, I'd need to rancid transplant successfully 3 times and then expunge, which is asking a fair amount, and I've taken a reasonable amount of damage from my own poison at this point, and so I need to be able to heal up. So ignoring Big Jake, I walk to within 1 inch of the strong-arm suit and stab him with my scalpel a couple of times, doing some pretty nice damage and like 4 poison. So this thing's really not too healthy, but it's not enough. I can't kill it with the expunge. So for the second turn, McMorning wastes his 0 action, and I tend to find things don't go well when that happens. And now we brace for retribution. I think Big Jake goes, does the maybe a little bit. I think I'm starting to stone now, not really taking more than 1 damage at a time. The effigy that survived last turn runs at Rafkin, who was here. Rafkin happily kills it to get it out of her way, and my opponent scores frame for murder. And then I get Rafkin around here to protect McMorning in inverted fingers. Von Schill pops Oathkeeper and joins the fray, charging McMorning, stone, stone, stone. And then he notices that Rafkin's pretty badly damaged, and decides to use the last attack just to whittle her down for the strong arm to finish off, and accidentally kills her. 3 points for frame for murder, thank you very much. Apparently my opponent is notorious for giving this away, because he likes the killing, and who can blame him? I'm quite partial to it myself. So at the end of turn 3, things look like this. McMorning's pummeling continues from the strong-arm suit and Anna Lovelace, and I'm just burning through the stones. Sebastian sacks my canine remains to get a stone back to help him keep him up. Nurse is running forward with the meds. Chiaki skirting around the outskirts, just taking a pot shot, trying to whittle the strong-arm down a little bit. Chihuahua coming up, trying to stay safe from the sniper. I managed to keep things pretty well covered from the sniper actually this turn, with the shards of Kythera blocking the bird properly this turn. Then I had to make a decision. So the bell is on 2 wounds, and I could get her up to here and keep her perfectly safe, but that means that McMorning will probably take a flurry attack from the librarian, and I'm out of stones now, and really not looking forward to that. So I decide to go a little bit further out with the bell, which will get her in range to do stuff next turn, but there's also a gap if you can get round the shard to attack her, and he does. Librarian comes out and nails the bell for the second kill, scoring Reckoning. Drat. Kind of hoped she'd survive that, but I think I'd take it over losing McMorning. Maybe that was the wrong idea. I don't know. But yeah, so we end the turn. McMorning poison pushes out of that scrap. I lose the shards and again choose not to summon a zombie. My opponent scores Reckoning. I fail to do so. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least he doesn't get last stand. Oh, and I got Dig Their Graves because Rafkin dropped a scheme marker on the second turn when she couldn't get to the effigy and scored Dig Their Graves when the effigy died. So going into turn 4, it's neck and neck. I make it 4-all, and man, this is exciting. I get the initiative and that was huge. So McMorning obviously wastes no time in going. He charges Von Schill. The plan was actually just to put some damage on Von Schill and finish off Big Jake, but things were going so well I just kept shanking away. So I've healed myself 5 damage. Von Schill has more poison than wounds, and I expunge to sculpt him into a much more pretty looking flesh construct. Decaying Aura is total bullshit. The strong arm, flees in terror, but happens to kill Chiaki over here. I make another mistake here. I've got the red Joker in hand, so I should have dropped a scheme marker with the emissary and then killed Big Jake in the end. I've just finished him with a Rotten Rend. I'd Rotten Rended him the previous turn, so he'd only had 3 damage left, and then walk my ass out of blocking up this alley. So score reckoning, but should have got dig their graves there. And turn 4 ends like this. The Outcasts are scattered and fleeing. Sebastian leading the charge as the undead try to catch them. As I'm thinking to get him to drop a ski marker over here early next turn and tie people up. I get reckoning and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, if I'd killed the Chihuahua. It's literally doing nothing. All it needs to do is sacrifice itself. I could have stopped that last stand point. Just before we ended this turn, the cry went out. Last turn, don't start another one, and so we end the game there. What a game. Final scores. Outcasts scored 1 point for Reckoning, 2 points for Frame for Murder, and 2 points for Last Stand. Resurrectionists scored 1 point for Reckoning, 3 points for Frame for Murder, and 1 point for Dig Their Graves, making this game 5-all. Oh, total cock biscuits. This is why people shouldn't do videos of tournaments. We scored this game as 6-5 to the Outcasts. I think we miscounted the models on turn 3. Never mind. If we run things in situ to the end of turn 5, then he scores that final point anyway. So yeah, a narrow 6-5 loss for the Resurrectionists in the final round. Oh my goodness, what a smashing game. Felt really thematic, with the mercenary gunslingers back to back around the town gallows with the army of death surging upon them. And hats off to my opponent, he made that really hard work. I really reckon I would have struggled to score points in the final turn. Big Jake's coming back, and I think everybody's just going to run for the board edges. I might be able to kill one, but dropping a marker before I do would have been pretty freaking hard. So yeah, not impossible for me to win, but I think my opponent would have had me. Well done, sir. So I end my first tournament. 2 wins, a draw and a loss. 7 tournament points, plus 10 VP differential, and in 8th place overall out of 28. Absolutely superb fun. My Arcanist opponent in game 2 took best Arcanist, and my opponent in this game took best Outcast and came 2nd overall. Well done, gentlemen. Whilst we were playing this game, table 1 I believe was Nelly versus Hamlin, with Nelly taking the game, Reckoning in Last Stand I imagine being a contributing factor to that, and coming 1st overall. Don't know who came 3rd, but I know best Resurrectionist was taken by a Nicodem player. So yeah, brilliant time had. My opponents were fantastic, would play any of them again in a heartbeat. And if you're looking at getting into tournaments, I would really recommend it. Everyone I met had a phenomenal attitude. You get to play some games, sit around talking shit about the hobby with a beer. Just really great. But oh my god, is it knackering? I'm so tired after this. Yeah, geez, it takes it out of the knees. For some reason, one of my favourite things of the day was looking at that final score sheet and finding that Insidiously Mad had just pipped me to 7th place. And best of the Dark Sphere players. For some reason that really, I really found that fun. I'm on your tail, man. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Many thanks to all my opponents and to the tournament organisers for putting on such a fantastic event. Take care.